so first you're going to set up your still life with 3 to 4 objects of your choice. I kept mine Christmas themed. You're also going to need a light source. I used a lamp and took the shade off of it so that we could really pay attention to those shadows that are touching those objects that I just pointed to. So I've got my lamp and it's casting a little bit of a shadow to the right. Okay, so the first step that you're going to want to do is just trying to place things on your paper to get an idea of the size and the shapes that you're going to be dealing with. So the first thing I did was kind of just outline a little bit of the tinsel, where that was going to go, and then a little bit of the nutcracker. And I just moved from left to right on my page. And you'll notice that I end up making some adjustments to the height because of the nutcracker's body. So I'm going to have to change how far down that tinsel goes. And then later I'll even kind of adjust even more. So I'm just getting an outline. Now I'm on that ribbon that's around the little jar that has some of the branches coming out of it. So I'm just adjusting based on what I see while I'm looking back and forth, just like you guys did whenever you did the Jim Dine activity at school. When we were looking at those paintbrushes, you're really doing an observation drawing here and really closely paying attention to the size and the proportions of different things that are in that drawing and how they all fit together. And this is a very advanced project. So think about the objects that you choose. I chose some that had lots of texture, lots of details. Their sizes had variations, but you don't have to start out with something as complicated as that. This took, a good 30 minutes of drawing at a pretty fast speed. So, because of all the texture and the details. And then I would want to go back in and touch things up still. So you can even decide, like, you want this to represent you. So maybe you play softball or baseball and you just get out your baseball or your glove or something like that you want to set out in front of you. And just pick 3 to 4 objects. They don't have to be really complicated. You'll notice I'm getting into tons of detail with the texture of this tinsel and really drawing this without color. It becomes kind of distracting, I feel like, to the piece. So I think if I did this again, I probably would choose something a little less messy kind of looking, because I'm having to do a lot of texture on this, showing that it's coming forward and going all to the sides. So I'll move on from this in just a second and move on to my nutcracker just to give myself a break from this tinsel. So now I'm going to notice that my tinsel is kind of floating in this picture, so I'm going to have to pull it down a little bit to meet up with the nutcracker's feet and the base of that nutcracker. Okay, so the light is casting from the left, so I'm going to have shadows on a lot of my right side and like where things fold. So here inside this ribbon, I'm just doing some hatching and cross hatching to show a shadow. You can also do stippling. Remember, that's where we just do our like kind of a dot, multiple dots over and over and over, and then you can rub those together. You can also just make a darker line and then use your finger to rub to kind of smear that pencil. I'm looking at my actual object and seeing how the curved lines of that ornament actually make a curved shadow. So I wanted to make sure that I got that. And then I want to make sure that I kind of identify some of the different pieces of tinsel by going through and adding a shadow to that on the bottom of the page, and then also in between the tinsel pieces. Okay, so choose your objects carefully and just pay attention to how that light hits your objects and where the shadow is cast. And you don't have to do this in one day, guys. You can take your time, use your objects. You could draw small instead of big if you'd like a smaller piece of paper. It's completely up to you on your objects, and I hope you enjoy the project and get a little drawing practice in. You could always add color too. Enjoy!